Welcome back to this week's in Wrestling's Mom's Basement. This is week 11. Of course, I'm Pat Young. This guy to my right is the man of 1,004 action figures, Joe Venuto.
I wonder if I do have. How many I do have?
You may have close to 1,004.
Oh no, I think I have more.
I gave you the Jericho number. I didn't give you the Demolition number.
Yeah, I think I might have more. This is our special 10th episode review on the 11th episode because we can't count. And these double reviews will actually happen every 10 episodes.
Yes.
In this case, it'll happen in 9 episodes, so 9 weeks on episode 20. At some point in December or January.
We really need to get better at planning.
Episode 20 in January, I believe. Maybe December, but I'm pretty sure that's 20 January. Yeah, this is October. Actually, in January, it'll be episode 20 when we do this. It's going to be every...
I think you mean like December.
Was I right in December?
I think it might be more December than it is.
It'll be the beginning of December, yeah.
Yeah.
It might be the week of my Christmas party.
No, I think it's the first week of December.
First week of December? It's not the week of my Christmas party, but you're invited, though.
Oh, so you're going to give your address out on YouTube?
No, I'm going to give out my old address on YouTube. Or I'm going to give out Isaac's.
There you go.
Isaac. I don't know his address, so.
No.
I call mine out like that.
Okay, we're getting more personal stories that we literally can't share because these are people's addresses.
Yeah, so I don't know what Pat wants to give out addresses. But we could give you information on WCW 1995.
Yes, we can.
It was the best of times for WWE.
Really came into the worst of times.
Alright, for WWE. And it was
the worst of times for WWE.
It was the worst show of times for
WCW.
WCW.
Business. The ring product wasn't that great.
This is Superbrawl.
And WCW wasn't that much better either. So.
This is Superbrawl 5 from the Baltimore Arena. And you guessed it.
The Mariner Arena?
No, Baltimore Arena. I was going to make them guess the same.
Pyongyang, North Korea.
No, actually Baltimore, Maryland.
Huh?
The attendance, believe it or not, for this show was 13,390. And the commentators are Tony Schiavone and Bobby Heenan. Now, just because I love everybody and Vader WCW, I actually did some research.
Oh, good.
Now, the show starts off on the WWE Network with technical difficulties in the middle of the first match. But
yes, it does.
I cannot make this up because I can take credit for this. This is how this show actually opened up. The Nasty Boys are in the streets of Baltimore and are going on a tour. Their first stop, the Maryland Science Center.
Okay.
They go inside and build a tower out of blocks. But Jerry Sachs pressed the button that makes the table shake to see if their tower is earthquake-proof. Now Brian Knobs plays with static electricity machine to make his hair stand up. Jerry goes on to see something else as Brian can't just take his hand off the machine for some reason. After pestering some fans, he's told that Jerry is going to the aquarium. Which is the world-famous Baltimore aquarium.
Yeah.
Brian goes over to find him, but his hand is starfish and a crab instead. The attendant tells him that Jerry Sachs went into the rainforest, but Brian can't find him there either. He goes to watch some dolphins perform, while Jerry comes up and says he was locked in a submarine for an hour. Then they eat some lobsters, reminisce about the show, and leave for Superbrawl.
That was the intro to the pay-per-view?
Yes.
Wow. That probably actually would have made the pay-per-view a bit more interesting. But I'm getting the spoiler territory, so go on.
Normally I would just felt what I just read, but I'm not really sure what it was. The levels of random in this are so out there that I probably don't believe exist. I mean, what did I just read? They were doing experiments and Jerry was locked in a submarine.
Although if you watch the one-eyed midget thing on the beach that blew up Sting and British Bulldog's boat, I think we both can believe that Jerry Sachs and Brian Knobs were museum hopping in Baltimore.
I know this shit was strange around this time, but my goodness, I don't know what was up with that. Then apparently the show opened up with a video focusing on Hogan and Vader, which is the main event. Which was 7 then at Starcade. That's probably about as easy a match you can ask for. But was basically spoiled. Hogan no sold Vader's powerbomb at a recent Clash of Champions, apparently. Now she's trying out the main event. Gene thinks Vader wants to permanently injure Hogan. Then we see a clip from earlier which shows Vader possibly arriving with Ric Flair, who's recently retired. Vader attacked another car he thought Hogan was in. Tony said that was his, as in Tony Schiavone's limo. Tony Schiavone has a limo. I don't know if those things were...
The limousine riding, jet flying, piss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun. Woo!
Tony Schiavone.
Tony Schiavone.
Apparently the limos were handed out as party favors, I guess.
Out, yeah.
Vader breaks out...
No wonder why WCW went out of business now.
Vader breaks out of a window. And it doesn't require surgery, proving conclusively that either Vader is tougher than Goldberg, or they made better limousines in 1999.
Yes.
During the main event, the regular TV show that aired before the pay-per-view started, Vader came to the ring and attacked Stars and Stripes, Marcus Bagwell, and Patriot, and the Jobbers they just beat. That led us to our opening match, Alex Wright versus Paul Roman.
I'm giving my grade first.
Yes.
I gave it an F.
Elaborate. We always say what we gave.
Alright, fine. The match was boring. I sort of felt bad for Alex, right? Because it didn't seem like Paul Roman was selling for him whatsoever. It felt like he was trying hard, but the match just... He's not technically that great a performer where he can carry a sandbag. And that's pretty much what he was doing. So F.
F. Absolutely not. This is only Alex Wright, though. Alex is only 19 here. And biggest match in his career. Probably this one was somewhat completely in this for himself. And in case you can guess, this was Paul Roman's last match ever.
Yeah.
On a national stage. I don't remember a less professional performance in my 23 years old watching wrestling.
Yeah.
Paul was out to make himself look good, and Alex was the short process. Paul Roman was one of those guys who was around all the big names. As we remember for doing some decent things in this. And it was almost always the partner carrying things. Well, he's there.
Wasn't he one of the horsemen?
Exactly. Discuss the match. Backstage, Sister Sherry and the newly credible Harm Heat, only recently named Booker T. C-Ray, from their old names of Kane and Cole, promised to keep their titles tonight. Gene can't remember which is which yet. It is so bizarre to see a famous team as newcomers. You know, they've been around for well over a year at this point. But everybody, you got, I think it takes at least 7 years to be rookie here.
Yes.
Up next, Bunkhouse Buck versus Jim Duncan.
For some reason, they're trying to go for a technical wrestling classic between Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Bunkhouse Buck. Yeah, they're not really the greatest technicians. You're not going to see the stylings of Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. You're pretty much, when you pay to see Hacksaw, it's not to have him do a wrist lock or multiple wrist locks for about 30 minutes. It felt like the match wasn't any good. It wasn't. F.
F. I don't remember the last time a major show started with the worst hit failure. Absolutely horrible match here, and I have no idea why this was even on the card. Duggan on offense for most of the match was one of the worst imaginable, I guess. But having it be against Bunkhouse Buck was even worse. This is horrible, I have no idea what was a good idea. Ming comes in afterwards and massacres Duggan, instantly becoming the most interesting thing on the show so far.
Exactly.
Well, okay, so it's as entertaining as a super kick and a nerf hole can be. But it's not Duggan versus Buck. So points for that.
Yes.
The Nasty Boys are ready for a tail shot tonight, and will take Harm Heat to Nastyville from the last time. They'll slap Sherry's face off if they have to. Up next, Dave Sullivan versus Kevin Sullivan.
They're, just to explain, Dave Sullivan and Kevin Sullivan are in fact brothers. I'm actually not sure if that's kayfabe or...
Would you like me to look up?
Real life. Sure, go ahead.
No,
if you even care.
I have to.
don't think anyone cares.
Okay.
Yeah, this match was terrible, F.
This is the match at night at this point.
No.
F. Dave was terrible. This is really the best promotion call for how this is also considered good days. There are anything here other than Hogan's ego needing go rope because of his friends. If so, was there no one you could put in there instead of Dave Sullivan? There was a head ram into Busher that might have hurt his face, which the announcer said was full metal place. Me and Dave has a face harder still.
Yes.
This then lead Bruce Beefcake to be known as the man with no face.
Doesn't he eventually become the Zodiac?
Yes, but first he was the man with no face. You think I can make this so long?
We have TNA in the company with no name. And now we have Ed Leslie, the man of no face.
Kevin doesn't seem to mind that man with no face. Tony tries to tell about the show, but Bobby had problems with his chair. The point is to announce Pedro Morales debuting as a Spanish announcer. Avalanche, Earthquake, and Big Bubba Rogers, Big Wilson, cut a promo that belongs in the 80s. Avalanche is the exact same promo we cut for years over at the frame then. Rogers, on our hands, tired of listening to the fans out for himself now. This is a really lame tag team titles. Harm Heat versus Nasty Boys.
This was probably the best match so far. I'm going to give it that. Was it good? Absolutely not. For some reason, they could have probably gotten much farther if the Nasty Boys were in a more of a street fight environment. However, that left Booker T to actually have a straight up team-on-team wrestling match with 3 other people that weren't really that great in ring workers to begin with. It's not like the Nasty Boys you have with the Hart Foundation from years before.
Right.
And you also have Stevie Ray, who's also there as well. This match didn't really do well with me, so F. And it doesn't help that the previous 3 matches were also terrible.
F. Match that night here, though, by about 10,000 miles at this point. And was born thoughtful for it. Cut this down to maybe like 12 minutes instead of like 17. It got, and maybe it's far better. These teams were better, or at least more entertaining when it was a wild brawl instead of a match. But Hardy will get a lot better like in the next year or so anyway. Scratch the title change. There's a title change, but you're scratch that with my man Jarson. Apparently Brian Alves for Booker the Rope and SDQ meaning he to keep the titles. Up next, Savage this thing are ready for the monsters. That almost has to be better, they just found a standard formula.
This is the I'm not talking promo. And Monsters just running back and forth, throwing stuff on the ground. Sting's all like cutting a fired up promo.
Gene.
Probably the best part of the show so far.
Me and Gene with the quote of the night. This has been one of the best 4 or 5 pay-per-views I've ever been involved in.
Well, the match has been so terrible that it does feel like you've watched 4 or 5 pay-per-views in a row.
There was an ad for Uncensored, which actually might be worse than this show.
Yes.
If you've never seen it, imagine a match taking place in the back of a truck as it goes down the highway.
Yes.
Literally, that's what happens.
And this is a nice segue to the next match.
Oh, wait. Do you know the background of this match? Why if you... Oh, hang on. Alright. The announcers preview...
You're the Mike Tenay to my Tony Schiavone, so...
The announcers preview Blacktop Bully versus Dustin Rhodes, which is part of Rhodes family versus Colonel Parker's stud stable. The Bully is Barry Narzo, better known as Demolition Smash, but as an evil truck driver. Dustin got him sent to prison for reasons not important enough to explain. But lucky for you, I care about this story more than WCW. So, I did my research. Bully debuted as a really obnoxious fan who eventually pushed Dustin, causing the arrest. Colonel Parker bailed him out of jail to add Bully into the feud with the Rhodes family, which was the War Days actually, 1994. The feud's still going on 5 months after freaking War Games. 1995 was just a stupid time for WCW. Blacktop Bully versus Dustin Rhodes.
You think it would be a better match with Dustin Rhodes and a member of the team of Demolition, but it really wasn't. It was sort of more of the same. It was sort of it was very uneventful. I don't remember much from this match. I didn't even know the backstory, so thank you for that. It made it slightly more interesting.
Oh, really?
No, not really. It's still a failure. It's an F.
F, good grief, this was long. These guys just tried going on over and over, and this was one of the longest. Bully's one of the lamest characters I've ever seen, and somehow these two had a match in the back of a freaking truck the next month. Which thankfully got Dustin fired. I say thankfully, so he could be goalless by the end of the year. So to clarify, we just saw a 16-minute Goldust versus Root Bone Man match on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Vader does his usual I am a monster promo and throws in a shout-out to his son Jesse. He won't confirm or deny that Flair was the one that was in the limo earlier. The announcers talk about the title match. Tony wants to know if the lady in Vader's limo was Ric Flair.
The lady and Ric Flair and the limo is Ric Flair. Woo.
Speaking of Flair, here he is. Of course, Baltimore loves him after he lost to Hogan as a heel. Flair is why he would be Vader's limousine, and make sure to rant about Hogan for a bit. He'll be sitting ringside with 5 good-looking women for the last 2 matches. Avalanche and Big Ball Rogers versus Sting and Randy Savage.
This actually put the pay-per-view, it gave it a little bit more pep in its step, as it were. This match actually was much more energizing than any other match in this card at this point. I did have sort of problems with it, namely Bubba and Avalanche. They're older performers. They didn't really run around that. They really didn't have their athletic prowess like they did in the days if they had any. However, Sting and Macho actually energized me for this pay-per-view, so I ended up giving it a C+.
I gave it a C. Yes, it was your standard TV main event, and no, it wasn't anything special.
No.
But it was so refreshing to watch some people with charisma. After watching the previous 2 hours of horrible. Sting and Savage are good examples of people who can make a match better with pure charisma, even if the action isn't great. This was nothing special, was one thing everything else wasn't entertaining. Call the hotline. More main event told with Tony saying the few started a Superbrawl. He messed Arcade. That passes our interesting point of this show. We recap Hogan vs. Vader, which is your standard Hogan vs. Monster formula, but with a different kind of monster. Vader spent most saying Hogan was ducking him. So Hogan sold the power bomb to make this feud look like. This is actually a dream match, or at least it would have been 3 years ago at that point. Hogan says he's ready for the late shots of Hulkamania. Even his family is worried about Vader hurting tonight, but the Pythons are ready for Vader time. But it's the world title Hogan versus Vader.
I'll let you give it to this one. So this is actually a pretty good match.
This is one of the best main events I've ever seen WCW play out.
Yeah, probably if they had a bit more build to it, and this didn't actually end up just this being the only one, I probably would have given it a better grade, actually. However, they sort of cut Vader's legs off at the end of the match. They had him get a leg drop and pin. But
Hogan won by DQ.
Hogan won by DQ.
After Hogan hit the leg drop.
After he hit the leg drop.
He was going for the cover. And Flair came in.
Alright, yeah. Well, anyway, they... See? This pay-per-view messed with my mind so much, I thought there was a different ending. But they sort of moved the feud towards Flair and Hogan again, which Flair just got off a long feud with him from, ending at Starrcade, beginning at Bash the Beach or Beach Blast.
Yes.
And anyway, they sort of ran that course, but it ended up being about that again. So it sort of took away from me a little bit, so I gave it a B.
So, I was like, hey, nice. I thought the match was excellent.
It was an excellent match, yes.
One of the best things I've seen WCW doing here. Going back to Patch Point last week, Hogan might be the best WCW namer.
Yes. You can actually say that.
No, I wasn't wondering that's it though. What the DQ ended.
Yeah.
That's the big Hogan vs. Vader showdown. It should have headlined Starcade. But the world was just dying for that Bruce Beefcake versus Hogan showdown.
Absolutely.
I'm assuming now I'm just wants to be able to too, gimmick attached. Instead of Hogan trying to get his toe back in there, he'll take the title later.
Alright, when did Flair retire?
I do not know.
Might have been Halloween Havoc, actually.
It was the cage match with Shaq.
That's right, yeah.
Or Mr. Tate. Mr. Tate. So, yeah.
Yeah. Shaq was,
Bash should be Johnny 4, Hogan's debut. But that might mean Hogan's the greatest thing ever, if he wasn't them. And that's not what those two want to live in, so we get this lame ending instead. Still the excellent match. Hogan gets put in a figure 4. A Sting and Savage run out for a save. Hulk and Pale celebrate finish up. Overall rate?
Overall rating. My reason behind this, the show did finish well. However, it doesn't make up for about an hour and a half of suck. So,
it's a one-match show. It's a one-match show.
Yeah, that one match delivered. However,
it's the definition of a one-match show.
Yes.
Overall rating for me, F. Yeah, it's a disaster and one of the worst cars I've ever sat through. The problem is that none of this other than the main event need to be on pay-per-view. It's a big batch of TV matches with nothing good, even remotely good to the main event matches. Just a horrible show reel from a very dark period for WCW. That's it for this video. Next video, No Way Out 2001.
Yes.
Can it top this? I do not know. Hopefully.
Spoiler alert. Yes. Yes, it does.
Don't tell them. We'll be back.